Hey, it's Cap's CarCast. Today we're talking about humility. Let's drive.
Get down. Get down. Get down.
There is a C.S. Lewis quote that I like. See if I can remember it. It goes like this. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. And I like that one because, in my interviews on my Leading Matters podcast, I hear from a lot of different business leaders, and I read a lot about, leadership, things like that. And the common denominator for a lot of good, great leaders, successful leaders is, ironically, humility. So I thought about that quote the other day, especially after I did my most recent podcast with a guy named Ryan Hawk. I'll put it up here. You can go check that out. But Ryan he hosts a show called Learning Leaders, and he's interviewed close to 100 different leaders. And same thing came through across on his shows, and he shared that in the podcast, is that humility is a strong trait of powerful, successful leaders, which I find ironic. So let's think about that for a second in context of the C.S. Lewis quote, that humility is not thinking less of yourself, which we kind of often think that, we're not worthy, not good enough, but rather it is thinking of yourself less. So what does that mean in our lives, in our daily lives, as far as our careers are concerned, in our teams, and our managing and leading our business? Well, it means service, right? It means serving, the people that we seek to serve for no other purpose but then to serve them. And I think that is a good way to kind of push forward and lead your group, your organization, your team, even your own personal efforts as far as your career goes. But I want to offer an example, and I'll go back to another interview I did earlier this year with Brent Adamson. He is the co-author of The Challenger Sale. Great book. You should check the Challenger Sale out. But what struck me in my interview with Brent is he's an incredibly smart guy. He's written a couple of books, Challenger Sale, this new one out called The Challenger Customer. But when you speak to him, and again, I'll throw that up here as well. Go ahead and listen to Brent's interview that I did with him. But when you speak with Brent, what comes across is his mastery of the subject. But not from an arrogant, I know it all way, but in a passionate, really wants nothing to do more than to communicate it and share it with whomever he's talking to. And I think it's an excellent example. I was really struck by that when I got off the phone with Brent that day, is how awesome it was for him to share that information with me, to take the time out of his day to come onto the show so I might share with other people. And after giving it some more thought, and I think about that one a lot, and I love his books also, I thought, wow, what an excellent example of what humility is really, truly all about. It's just really mastering our subject and our expertise, investing in our own skills, that which we do well, for no other reason than it might benefit someone else. So, as C.S. Lewis says, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Hey, one last thing. Hopefully you're enjoying these. If you are, why not consider subscribing to Cap's CarCast? Thanks, and we'll see you next time.